the voice of the Palestinians is heard, as you just heard one just now, and that the intimidation that goes on by agents of the Israeli state who are presumably embarrassed by the fact their Prime Minister not only wanted in their own court.
Yes, so can we just either just move to the back? There's a vehicle coming in through here, so if we can move. There's a vehicle coming here, please. Mind yourselves, there's a car coming in.
Be careful, sorry about this.
And we just need to reflect for one moment what has happened, which is often ignored by the media. 45,000 deaths in Gaza already. Possibly over 100,000 bodies to be found under the rubble, according to very reliable estimates from the Lancet British Medical Association Journal. 4,000 people killed in Lebanon in the recent bombing that's taken place. More than 2,000 people killed on the West Bank, and 17,000 Palestinians in the West Bank taken prisoner, and I fear to say taken to prisons in Israel. And please, in all this, never forget the situation and the plight of the Palestinian refugees in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and the worldwide diaspora. They were evicted from their homes in 1948, and it's now their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren that still have a life to live in those refugee camps. So let's declare our complete solidarity with them. And the British government eventually came round to accepting that they had to abide by the International Court of Justice decision, and particularly the International Criminal Court decision. That ICC decision is of an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. It is not a pick and mix. It is not a choice. The UK judicial system is required by international statute to arrest Netanyahu. I fully understand that, but there is an empty cell in Belmarsh where Julian Assange was freed from. And so our solidarity is with the Palestinian people and for peace. But we also recognise there are very brave people in Israel as well who demand an end to the occupation. And it was my honour last week.
Did you arrest that these men were
He's been expelled or suspended from the Knesset because of his support for the Palestinian people. So remember, the solidarity is a human solidarity, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of faith. It is a solidarity for peace and for justice for the Palestinian people. Britain, it is true, is not the major arms supplier to Israel, but it is a crucial part of a supply chain. That supply chain that runs from factories throughout Britain, that runs for the supply of parts for the F-35 jets that are crucial to the Israeli war machine, and it also runs through the Royal Air Force Base at Akrotiri in Cyprus, which is being closely monitored by our friends to try and find out what all these surveillance flights over Gaza are doing, what happens to the information collected by those surveillance flights, and why there are so many flights going from RAF Akrotiri straight into Israel. It seems to me that the strong likelihood, because ministers refuse to answer this question directly, is that arms are being supplied through British territory straight into Israel, which are being used to kill people in Gaza and in Lebanon until the ceasefire. Over the last year, we've now had 22 national demonstrations, mainly in London. There's also been demonstrations all over the country. Another one this Saturday. I know it's expensive for people to come from outside London to join these demonstrations, but it's important. If we don't raise our voice, however popular or unpopular it is with the national media, then that voice will never be heard anywhere. I was in this very street.
What did they say? Was the guy assaulted?
When the anti-apartheid movement wasn't the huge popular movement it later became, it was quite a small minority of us stood down here outside the student union, assembled and marched. We marched down here and went to Trafalgar Square. And we did that time after time after time. And gradually people began to understand the brutality of the South African apartheid regime because they didn't hear it from the British media. And that developed and developed. The liberation of South Africa came from the bravery of people in Soweto, the bravery of people like Andrew and many, many others. But that international solidarity was important. Our solidarity is on the streets this weekend to support the Palestinian people. And our message to the British government is we will continue challenging you at every opportunity. We will continue marching. We will continue demanding until all British arms supplies have stopped and Palestine is recognised and as a free place. And tomorrow in Parliament, there are 3 bills up for debate. The first one is very well known, the assisted dying bill. There's another bill. Then the third one, which may or may not be debated depending on time, is the Palestinian recognition bill that's been tabled by the Independent Alliance group of MPs. We're putting that tomorrow, but I think it's an important statement we've made there, and it's a statement that the people of this country are increasingly making. They understand what brutality is. They understand what this bombardment is. They understand the horrible supply chain of weapons. Andrew and I are authors, along with Lindsay and many others, of a book called The Monstrous Anger of the Guns, in which we exposed the whole role of the British arms industry in Palestine and indeed in many other places around the world. You know what? Minds are opening up, ideas are opening up, imagination is growing, strength is growing, and we are there with the Palestinian people.